So, I was thinking, well, you know, when you asked me about, well, you know, what makes a girl interested in a guy, you, you remember that, right? Yeah. Of course you. Why wouldn't you, right? I mean, it was only last week. Anyway, I've kind of been thinking about it a little bit, and, well, I decided on a few things that work for me. You want me to tell you what I was thinking about? Okay. So, there's a lot of simplistic stuff that gets thrown around. Stuff like, passion and confidence. But could that be any more vague? I mean, they're basically just two words that different people interpret in all sorts of different ways. For a start, passion for what? Does that even matter? And once you've got yourself around that part, there's the question of how to develop either a specific passion of some sort, assuming you even know which area that's even going to be in, or to become generally more passionate about the experience of living. I guess that one of those is what they mean. Doesn't really sound all that helpful though, does it? From a practical point of view. And I still don't even know what it really means. What's important to me, and I need to say that if all this comes out as a bit disjointed or unclear or whatever, then I guess that's probably because I haven't really spent that much time actually dissecting what I want properly. I don't think most people have. And I'm pretty sure most of us certainly don't know why we want it, even if we do know what it is. I definitely like a mix of quite masculine qualities and more neutral ones in a man. I like a guy to stand up straight and be clear and decisive. That's surprisingly attractive in anyone, but especially a man. It's like having someone around that knows which direction they want to go in and why is inspiring for one thing. It also means you can decide if you're inspired by the particular traits and interests that person has, or if they're not quite right for you. Obviously, that's counterintuitive in a sense because it's designed to turn people off, but then there are some people that just aren't right for you. And by being clear, you can create a path for the people that do fit to see you for who you really are and be more confident in showing those values around you as well. So, when I say neutral qualities, what I mean is those things that are really important to relationships of all kinds, but that aren't like traditionally gender-based roles, you know? We're looking at things like social relationships and skills, flexibility and adaptability, intelligence and sophistication. Oh, and things like maturity and responsibility too. That kind of sounds like a lot, and you might wonder how you're supposed to change those things, but for a start, we obviously have a certain amount in each area already. With everything on that last little list, you definitely develop them all by just going out into the world and interacting. Jobs and friendship groups, family, neighbors. Just about any kind of interaction, really. Because they're all different forms of social arrangements, contracts, and dynamics that reflect parts of the more complex ones, the ones that you have when you're in an intimate relationship with someone. What that person is really looking for. I mean, what they want to know. And for you to communicate with them is, will this person make a good team with me in a long-term relationship where we're both going to have needs and goals, where we're both going to need support? And when I say masculine, I don't mean that women don't have those qualities. Not at all. It would be silly to say that women aren't decisive or strong. There's incredible emotional strength in women, for a start. No, it's more like a yin-yang kind of thing. One of you plays the lead role and then the other the supporting role. It's just that what we always used to get wrong in the past is that we can move and change fluidly between the roles as we go in a turn-taking dynamic sort of way. It's not that we each have strict roles and they never change. No, not at all. Much more than that, we're each showing the potential to take on various roles and even play roles at different times. That more playful end turns up in sex, doesn't it? We each take control in different ways at different times, but by agreement in some way or another, that's how it works. And you can care for each other in different ways. Sometimes by taking control when the other person needs or wants you to. Other times through different ways of supporting, like stepping back and encouraging. Letting that person have their time, taking control of their direction and like shining, to put it a kind of cheesy way. That ability to lead and take control when you need to, that's so important. But it kind of leads into that overused word, confidence, doesn't it? But if you think about it, don't you just get confidence from doing things? Whether it's general life confidence or in a more specific, targeted area. I mean, the more time you spend out in the world, the more you learn and the more of a sense you get about whether you're going in the right direction and can be more sure of yourself. Actually, I think the important thing about gaining confidence in the world is as much about information as anything else. I mean, doing things and being there does make you a lot more comfortable in any given situation. Familiarity, really, isn't it? But the more you communicate with the people who are also experiencing it with you and genuinely listen to their impressions, the more you can really reflect on how well that you're doing it instead of just guessing. Sometimes getting some familiarity with other people and getting close enough for them to give you a mix of feedback and encouragement is all it takes to get started. So, it's important to find people that genuinely want the best for you, though. Anyone who's horrible or unhelpful or anything else is just not what you want for your confidence, right? And as far as passions are concerned, in a lot of ways, what you're passionate about doesn't always matter. As long as people can feel a genuine sense that something really matters to you. But the question of what you get passionate about, well, it could be a really cool way of meeting someone that likes similar things to you, right? Think about that, mister. It's one thing to have an interest in watching Netflix on your own, but you might need something that actually brings you face to face with someone you can actually talk to. Basically, I think that we kind of have roles that we want to be playing out in the world. Things that fit with who we are. Some of us are more ambitious, some quite artistic, some more romantic, some very practical. Not that any of those things are opposites or anything. You could be anywhere on each of those different scales at the same time. The point is that we have sets of values that are important to us. The way that I see it, it's really important for us to know what kind of values matter to us and go out into the world behaving in a way that communicates those things to the people around us. That way, other people can decide how well they fit with that. Whether they would best fit together with you as friends, as a girlfriend, or maybe not at all. I mean, some dynamics and partnerships just aren't made to fit together, right? It's not like someone who's super ambitious would fit well with someone who's really casual all the time. A lot of those things can be sort of fundamental to who you are or who you really want to be in your life. So you need someone that's going to fit with that. But there are other things that you could change. And I really think we should all be growing and developing all of the time. So it's kind of natural to do that. You might want very different things at different points in your life, for example. But you might also be talking with someone and realize through that interaction that you now see certain values and characteristics as better or worse than you saw them before. Seeing things in a new light, really. I feel like I was taught, I couldn't really say who by, but that we kind of all have this core spirit and personality, and that it would be sort of dishonoring yourself to make any changes to that. But like growing up, I've definitely found that there are lots of things I've wanted to change. Just that like different things have started to matter the more that I've interacted with the world.